Hello, hello. Got some no more real estate news to update you on. Again, we're on redfin.com. And check this out. More than 40% of home sellers are dropping their prices in Salt Lake City, Boise, Sacramento, and other pandemic hot spots. That's going to be the topic of this video today. We're going to go through some real-time data. And my goal here is for you to get an accurate assessment of what is happening and what is likely to happen, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at a lot of different cities, so stick around for that because we're going to get into a lot of cities. Odds are we get into your area, there's real data showing exact price drops for many different cities across the USA. So stick around, we're going to get into that. While you're here, hit that like button, really helps support the channel, and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. I'm here to bring you all kinds of investing updates. Housing is obviously a big part of that, especially in the times that we're in, because here I see overall things are cooling off, and we're going to look at some data that's going to support that. It's not just my thought or my wish or something. It's I look objectively at data, and that's what it seems to be screaming to me. I am in the real estate business also. I have multiple businesses, but I'm certainly in real estate. And this is stuff I've been paying attention to, and I thought it'd be good to share it with you today. So check this out. Sellers are adjusting their expectations as they realize many buyers are no longer able to afford the type of home they could have before mortgage rates shot up. So, because at the beginning of the year, mortgage rates were like at all-time lows. Like you could get mortgages still for like under 3%. Now, you're lucky if you can get it for under 6%. The average for a very well-qualified buyer is about 5.8%. To put that in perspective, at the beginning of the year, that same very well-qualified buyer could have gotten a loan at about a 2.8% interest rate. Now it's at about 5.8%. And this is the best qualified buyers out there. What that 3% does, what does that mean? That means you lose about 30 to 40% of your buying power. So the same home that would have cost $2,000 a month, whatever that price would be, doesn't matter because we're looking at the monthly payment. The same house at the same price that would have cost $2,000 a month at the beginning of the year now costs $2,600 to $2,800. That is significant, and that looks like that's going to continue to rise as the Fed raises interest rates. Let's dive back into the data. So they make a little bit of a focus here in Provo, Utah. Be sure to stick around because I'm probably going to get to your city here pretty soon. There's a whole chart with a lot of different price charts for each metro area, so stick around. Nearly half 47.8% of homes for sale in Provo, Utah, which is about 45 miles from Salt Lake, saw price drops in May. The highest share of the 108 metropolitan divisions in the analysis. Okay, so as I said, we're probably going to get to your area. Tacoma, Washington, I live in the Seattle area, so I'm very familiar with Tacoma, had about the same share of price cuts at 47.7%. Then Denver, Salt Lake, Sacramento, Boise, Ogden, Utah, Portland, Indianapolis, Philly to round out the top 10. If you're in the Seattle area, by the way, we may be able to help you. I don't recommend buying a home, but we have another program that we use that allows you to rent to own. So you get to pick out the home you want to buy. The company we work with buys it for you, and all you do is pay rent. And there's no obligation, no real drawbacks because you don't have to buy the home. And there's no penalty or anything for not buying the home. It's a fantastic solution for this moment right now, no doubt about it. Link in description, probably bring you over there somewhere if you're in the Seattle area. But this company works across the country, so if you're interested in that, we can click the link. We can find you someone that could probably help you in your area. But so going down to here, all in all, about half, 53 of the metros out of the 108, so almost half, saw more than a 25% of home sellers drop their asking price in May. Do you know how insane that is based on where we came from just at the beginning of the year? There were almost no price cuts. There were still bidding wars going on. Everybody was listing their house expecting to get more than what they listed it for. Now, they're not even getting what they listed for. More than 10% of home sellers dropped their price in all 108 metros, driving the national share price drops to a record high. Starting to feel what's going on here. The uptick in price drops is symbolic of the slowdown in the housing market. This is on redfin.com. They're in the real estate business. It's not good for them that this is happening, and they're still saying this because they have to be objective to the data, which is exactly what I'm doing here. Many buyers are backing off amid skyrocketing home prices, which we've seen the last 2 years. home prices were going up 20 to 30%, 20 to 40% actually a year, depending on your market. That is out of this world insane. Houses typically go up about 3 to 5% a year. Extremely unusual. A correction needs to happen because, or else no one can ever buy a house again. Surging mortgage rates, high inflation, and a faltering stock market, right? So this quote right here, very important. Check this out. Redfin chief economist Daryl Fairweather, right? Redfin chief economist. There are two kinds of sellers in today's market. Those who already know the market has cooled, and those who are learning about the cooling market as they go through the selling process. The former, so those that already knew it had cooled, wants to sell quickly before the market slows further, and they're willing to price slightly below comparable homes in their neighborhood right away. In other words, to sell, to make sure that things sell. They don't want to sit on market. They don't want to screw around. They've been waiting to sell, and they want to get out because they feel like it's going down, which I would agree. And the latter, those that are just learning about that it's cooling, may have to drop their price if their home doesn't attract buyers within a few weeks. In reality, you really got to drop the price of your home within like a week, depending on the interest you get, right? If you're not getting an offer within the first week in this market or any market, interesting, especially 2 weeks. So a few weeks, he's being a little conservative there, a little liberal actually. As more sellers come to terms with the slowing market, fewer homes will have price drops. I don't know why he says that. As more sellers come to terms with the slowing market, fewer homes will have, because they will price it accordingly from the beginning. Correct. I agree with that. Here's all this. Now, anything else I wanted to look at here? We're going to go through some of the cities now and look at which, because I have them all ranked in order. Obviously, we saw that Provo was number one. Just to go back through as the top 10, these were the top 10: Provo, Tacoma, Denver, Salt Lake, Sacramento, Boise, Ogden, Portland, Indianapolis, Philly. So let's get into the data here. Obviously, number one, Provo, Utah. Shares of homes for sale with price drop in May, almost 48%, with shares of homes for sale with a price drop in May in 2021. Look at that difference. Last year, in May 2021, this is how many houses did price drops. This is how many did this year. This is quadruple. 4x the amount of people. Whoa. So this says very clearly that houses are quite mispriced from the beginning this year compared to last year. Okay, so that's something to think about. Median sale price in May this year, $550. Change in median sale price May 2020 to 22, 65.7%. So they're saying that a house in Provo, Utah, we're going to get to your city soon too. I'm not going to probably do this deep of a dive, but we'll get to see what the numbers are. I'm going through this one so that you know what these four categories are. So the change in median sale price May 2020 to May 2022, so over the past 2 years is all. 2 years. In Provo, Utah, 65%. So that means the average house in Provo, Utah went up about 33% a year. Remember, the houses typically go up 3 to 5% a year. So to me, I believe in equanimity, in balance. I believe that's the way of the universe, the way of the world. Whether, things go out of balance, they got to come back. It's just the way it works. And this is so far out of balance that I'd imagine somewhere like Provo, Utah, this median sale price to correct this, right? Because over the last 2 years, in reality, the house should have went up maybe 10%, and that's on the farther end. That's on the higher end. So, does that mean I expect about a 50% correction in Provo? I guess not necessarily, but Provo, Utah, median sale price $550. I kid you not. I would not be surprised if by the time this thing gets to a bottom, which housing markets move pretty slow. So it could take, my guess would be at least 18 months. I mean, in the great financial crisis, it took basically 5 years. It took basically 5 years for the housing market to hit a bottom. Now, this isn't the same situation as that, but it is a situation. So let's look at the next city. We know it was Tacoma, same thing. Not as about a 70% increase in price drops. Median house price that went up. Goodness gracious, 23.5% a year, way out of that 3 to 5% range. Denver, 47 and 24, so about double. 20, went up a little over 20% a year. Salt Lake City, Utah, went up almost 30% a year. Quite a change there, right? That's about 2.5x. Sacramento, California, 43.5%. So I mean, I told you, houses have been going up 20 to 30. I thought maybe even 40%, because I thought Provo went up, but it looks like 20 to about 33% a year. A year! Unbelievable. So a correction needs to happen because people just literally won't be able to buy houses anymore. People can't buy houses. People can't sell houses. Get what I'm saying? Boise, goodness gracious, that's the biggest change in median price we've seen so far. Even about a whole percentage point higher than Provo. So that went up 33, almost 33.5%. What a change there. Well, quadruple again, 12 to 44. 57 in Ogden. See if anything stands out here. Portland, Indianapolis, Philadelphia, Seattle. This is where I live. Look at that average price. It's insane. And now these markets many of these markets, I can speak for Seattle, has been going up pretty steadily for the past about 8 years before 2020, right? From about 2012 to 2020. And it was on a steady race. Like houses were going up 7, 8, 9, 10% a year, and all of a sudden they kicked into high gear in the last 2 years. Last 2 years went up from there to, which is insane, 7, 8, 9, 10%, depending on your area in the Seattle area, which is insane. It's insanity. And all of a sudden this is 23.5%. What? I don't even know. Granted, there's big money here because of tech. Amazon's based here, Microsoft, big Facebook presence, Zillow's here, Boeing is here, Apple's got a growing presence, Google's got a big and growing presence. So there's the median income here is much higher than these other cities, and that shows in the price of the average house. But damn. Harrisburg, Tampa, Florida, North Port, Florida, that western Florida area on the Gulf, I think is going to get slapped a bit. San Diego, look at this. Baltimore, Cape Coral, Spokane, Stockton, New Orleans, Frederick, Maryland, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Lakeland, Florida, Houston, Phoenix, Washington, D.C., Bakersfield, California, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Fresno, California, Orlando, Florida. Orlando's not as insane. I wonder what effect Airbnbs will have on this. By that I mean, because there's been so much Airbnb investing in the past number of years, Orlando would be quite a big hotspot because of Disney World being there, and Universal. San Antonio, Texas, Riverside, California, Richmond, Virginia, Montgomery County, Anaheim, California, Oakland, California, San Francisco, Omaha, Minneapolis, Baton Rouge, Atlanta, Des Moines, Warren, Jacksonville, Vegas, Oklahoma City, San Jose, Austin, Texas, Colorado Springs, Buffalo, Dallas, Fort Worth, Camden, Cleveland, Virginia Beach, Rochester, Allentown, Oxnard. Oh, Oxnard's interesting. That was the lowest one we've seen so far. Austin, Texas, 68. I think that's the biggest one we've seen. So that did go up almost 35% a year in the last 2 years. St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, really, well, not the same thing, never mind. North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Worcester, Massachusetts, Louisville, Detroit, Los Angeles, Dayton, Boston, New York, Albany, Akron, Deltona, Nashville. Nashville is one that there could be a reckoning coming. That's not that big of a change. That's significant. Don't get me wrong, but goodness. West Palm Beach, Nassau County, Pittsburgh, Little Rock, Memphis, Providence, Tucson, Winston-Salem, Knoxville, Charleston, Durham, Raleigh, Syracuse, Greenville, Greensboro, McAllen, Birmingham, Hartford, Fort Lauderdale, Poughkeepsie, Bridgeport, Cincinnati, Columbus, New Brunswick, Chicago, Palm Beach, Miami, New Haven, Milwaukee, Lake County, Honolulu, Elgin, El Paso, Newark, Madison, Wisconsin, and Springfield, Massachusetts. My guess is odds are you're in at least one of these areas, and I hope you found this data useful. Let me sort this once just real quick. I want to see what, I want to sort it by this. Cape Coral, 72% in the last 2 years. The median sale price, wow. So that means it went up 36% a year. Do you not understand how insane that is? That's insanity. Because money was basically free. Because the Fed didn't, there was basically no interest rate. You can get a mortgage for under 3%? Are you kidding me? That's like free money. So things got bid up way too high. I think it's going to be a while before we see interest rates that come anywhere near that. And it's going to do its job. I mean, they raise the interest rates to cool down inflation. Inflation isn't the printing of more money. It's certainly associated with it, but inflation is the rising cost of goods, services, and assets. Housing prices, housing, real estate is an asset. It got inflated like hell, so it's overpriced, is what I'm saying. Wow. And it jumped, so that's over double. Who had the biggest share last year? Let's see that real quick. Fresno. So Fresno actually went down, but that's insane. So they were way overpriced last year. Wow. So some of these were had a lot of price drops last year. Denver had some price drops apparently, but that still went up a ton. Most of these still went up. McAllen and Fresno are the only two on this list that went down this year out of these 108 metros that they look at. Oh, Ogden, Illinois, apparently went down. Yep, so it's Chicago. Oh, interesting. Okay. Who else? Lake County, Illinois. Who else? Hit that like button if you're still watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Bring a lot of investing and good content here. I do a lot of crypto, but I do overall financial markets and real estate too. Because the macroeconomic landscape right now is just filthy. It is nasty, it is rugged, but it also breeds wonderful opportunity. If you play your cards right? Because things are on sale. Buy low, sell high. Yeah, we're past the height. That selling at the top. We are over the peak. We are on our way down, is what it really looks like to me. I posted a video earlier today too, going through a lot of other statistics to help you form an informed, educated opinion, idea. So what I'm really here to help you do. But hit that subscribe, hit the like, share it if you can. I hope you found this useful. You're awesome.